So both Gary Furlow, who's doing sound, and I were at the Sisters Folk Festival last year. Gary actually took a couple of workshops from Chris and saw her a couple times, and I saw her a couple times, and I was so excited to see that she was going to be routing this way. So we're super excited to have her, and she's just a sweetheart. I love it when people come in and they're nice, and almost 99% of them are, so that's always good. So we're going to hear some really good folk music, some protests, and I can't wait to hear these things. This is going to be really unique. So let's welcome Chris Matthews.
I've traveled all across this land, up the Gold Coast and back home again. Found common ground around every bend, and far fewer strangers than I've found friends. A little princess drawing at breakfast with wonder in her eyes. An immigrant on the phone with her abuela saying goodbye. Planes and trains and buses too. No us and them, just me and you. And every person's like a book with a story yet to tell. A hidden gem buried deep within the depths of their well. Hello, how's it going? How's your journey been so far? It's nice to meet you, exactly where you are. I've been from sea to shining sea, from Mendocino to Carolina Beach. And what I found town after town is folks getting right back up when life knocks them down. A sweet widow from Ohio who still sings with every track. A rambling man with his whole life packed upon his tired back. Planes and trains and buses too. No us and them, just me and you. And every person's like a book with a story yet to tell. A hidden gem buried deep within the depths of their well. Hello, how's it going? How's your journey been so far? It's nice to meet you, exactly where you are. As I've journeyed far and wide, I've tried to reach out across the great divide. Across those knowns and those unknowns that keep us in opposing corners so alone. This or that, insert whatever social construct that you like. I hope all our better angels take the wheel for a while. Planes and trains and buses too. No us and them, just me and you. Just me and you. Just me and you, yeah. Just me and you, yeah. And every person's like a book with a story yet to tell. A hidden gem buried deep within the depths of their well. Hello, how's it going? How's your journey been so far? It's nice to meet you, exactly, exactly, exactly where you are. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. It's so nice to be back in Portland. It's been a minute since I've been out here. And that song, I almost forgot. That song was actually written in Corvallis. Yeah, I had taken, speaking of trains, I had taken the Coast Starlight from San Francisco up to Corvallis, and some sweet women picked me up. They scooped me up from the train station, and I just had such a lovely train ride at such a time when I really needed a reminder about how deeply we are all connected. And all those people in that song are all folks I met my trip out there, out west that time. And so when I got to their house, that song just poured right out of me. Well, this next one that I want to sing for you is the title track for my album out there, my album that came out in 2021. It's called Changemakers. And it's a front-to-back social justice album. Not the best plan, releasing that in the middle of a global pandemic. You know, I'm an Aries. I'm so hard-headed. You know, and those songs, I felt like those songs were so important. They were too important to wait. And so I didn't want to wait. And I was very fortunate to have a really amazing group of folks in my corner who felt the same way. So they made sure that that album got to come out right when it did. Now, my mom is a preacher, the Reverend. I'll be talking about her a little bit tonight. She always says to me, all things work together for good. Baby, all things work together for good. And it's been such a beautiful part of my life, watching that bear out as truth, kind of often. So that album came out in March of 2021. This song that I'm going to sing for you now is the title track of that album. And in May of 2022, that title track for that front-to-back social justice album released in the middle of a global pandemic won the International Folk Music Awards Song of the Year. This is Changemakers. Sitting alone in this hotel room, TV on, tuned into the news, and it's another day here in paradise. Mass shootings, deportations, wildfires. Meanwhile, Mr. Make America Great is busy tweeting his worst and spreading more hate. While some of us are so poor they can't afford shoes on their feet, while some other sweet baby starves to death in their sleep. Can you see us? We are dreamers. Can you feel us? We are believers. We are more than keyboard warriors. We are the change makers. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Somewhere in 100 no-name towns are 1 million lives being turned upside down. And you know this is the only home those kids have ever known. Refugees from wars and regimes being overthrown. Meanwhile, too many of these United States ignore the words Lady Liberty spake. Doors being kicked down in the dead of the night. No more sanctuary cities. How's that for religious right? Can you see us? We are dreamers. Can you feel us? We are believers. We are more than keyboard warriors. We are the change makers. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And if there's anyone out there who questions what America at its very best will feel like now, remember 66 million united in love, steadfastly indivisible across countless cities and towns. Oh, the bluest wave crashing from shore to shore. And all those hate has no home here. Signs don't know those doors. We know who we are like we know how to breathe. Won't you sing it with me? Sing it with me, please. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Give me the wretched refuse of your teeming shores. Send these, the homeless, the tempest tossed to me. Give me your tired, your poor, Your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. Give me the wretched refuse from your teeming shores. Send these, the homeless, the tempest tossed to me. Or can you see us? We are dreamers. Can you feel us? We are believers. And we are more than keyboard warriors. We are the change makers. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. I was really looking forward to retiring that one, but some things just don't go away quickly. It's like that one lesbian you date. She just keeps coming up in your life. You broke up with her once. You broke up with her twice. And she just won't let go. I'm really hoping we don't have a rebound come November. Is everybody in this room registered to vote? Yeah. Okay. You know, I love the West Coast. I live in Nashville, Tennessee now. Yes, both of those things. Yeah. You know, my partner and I, we're both singer-songwriters. We both do the same job. So, you know, it was a great move for us, career-wise. But then Nashville is a very cool city. So much so you almost forget that you have made the questionable life choice as an interracial lesbian couple to move to the state of Tennessee. But then Tennessee just reminds you over and over and over again. One of the first such ways, after we moved down there, was them introducing the drag ban. And Tennessee is such an interesting state. It's kind of been the proving ground for a lot of these really nefarious pieces of legislation. They test them out there and then go shop them around to a lot of other places. And that bill in particular was really something. I'll talk more about that later, but needless to say, my sets have just gotten gayer and gayer despite them. So this is one of the really gay songs. This is a sweet little love song called Oklahoma Sunset. And I always hope that folks who don't love the same way that I love are still able to see themselves and their love reflected in these words, the same way I see my love reflected in love songs by like country straight white guys like Blake Shelton. You know, we can't be the only ones with imagination, right? So I hope this song speaks to everybody in this room who's ever loved somebody. Mid-July, Friday night, side by side, your hand in mine, just carrying on like we do. But I couldn't take my eyes off of you. She's beautiful, always. If I'm watching or not, if I do or don't say, even when the storm is rolling in, it doesn't stop her light from shining. Or she's an Oklahoma sunset on a summer night. Stop dead in my tracks just to bask in her light. Oh, she keeps me breathless. Her glory is endless. I hope her light never fades. Oh, she's how I wanna end every day. Come home from a long day, the sight of her takes it all away. Just sitting on the back porch, taking her in, is enough to ease all my worry. And she's got a warmth about her that soothes me, a glow all around her that moves me, even when the storm is rolling in. It doesn't stop her light from shining. Well, she's in Oklahoma, sunset on a summer night. Stop dead in my tracks just to bask in her light. Oh, she keeps me breathless. Her glory is endless. I hope her light never fades. Well, she's how I wanna end every day. She's cool like the twilight, blue in the sky until the pink hits her cheeks on those red hot nights. But my favorite part is her golden heart. Well, she's an Oklahoma sunset on a summer night. Stop dead in my tracks just to bask in her light. Oh, she keeps me breathless. Her glory is endless. I hope her light never fades. But she's how I wanna end every day. I wanna end every day this way. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm releasing a new album in October. Yeah, so stoked. And that song, we finished everything in the studio. And so I've been spending like the last couple of weeks kind of listening to the mixes of everything, like making sure, like, did we get it? Did we capture it? Did we get it? And that song is so beautiful. It's like strings and oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can't wait for you all to hear it. I'm gonna sing another kind of pseudo love song. It's a love song. It's really more of like an apology, really. This will also be on the new album. It's been a trying time. I've learned so much these past couple of years. I've grown so much. I was joking with my friend Seth Gleer. We were on the road together in March, and Seth is just this wonderful, adorable, straight white man. And so he was like the perfect counterpart. Like we just had so much fun just joking about like anthropologically, I feel like there's a lot of overlap between the straight white guy and the butch lesbian. Like there's a lot of overlap. And so we kept joking about that. And as I was introing this song, I realized that, yeah, this one is kind of an example of a lot of that overlap. So this song is called Clumsy. And it's named that because, well, I'll just give an example of the clumsy. So she walks in. I'm going to use myself as an example. I will not put any of you fellas under the bus or anybody else. I will fall on the cross for us. She walks in. She looks so beautiful, so beautiful. And you're thinking to yourself in your mind, she is every bit my dream girl right now as she was the day I knew I loved her. Like, oh my God, she's so gorgeous and so perfect and amazing. But what comes out of your mouth for some ungodly reason is, baby, why didn't you wear the red one? You know, you've been there. Yep. So this song is called Clumsy. This is a perpetual apology from all of us who are butch of center to all of the rest of you. This is it. I can be clumsy, can trip and fall over my words. I don't get it right as often as I'd like when it comes to you. I can be clumsy, can swing hard for the fence and miss. Sometimes best laid plans slip right through my hands when it comes to you. But practice makes perfect. I promise you I'm worth it, so don't give up on me now. Practice makes perfect. I promise you I'm worth it, so don't give up on me now, 'cause I can be clumsy, can read the room so very wrong. Now I can be that fool rushing in too soon when it comes to you. I can be clumsy, can lose track of the time and date. And I hate missing your call, I hate dropping the ball when it comes to you. But practice makes perfect, I promise you I'm worth it, so don't give up on me now. Practice makes perfect, I promise you I'm worth it, so don't give up on me now. One foot in front of the other, when the road gets shaky we lean on each other. If I fall, give me a chance to recover, and if I fall again, give me another. One foot in front of the other, when the road gets shaky we lean on each other. If I fall, give me a chance to recover, and if I fall again, give me another. 'Cause practice makes perfect, I promise you I'm worth it, so don't give up on me now. Practice makes perfect, I promise you I'm worth it, so don't give up on me now. Thanks so much. Thanks, everybody. Thanks so much. Yeah, ordinarily, like a song like that would really get me out of the doghouse, you know. But because we do the same job, and because we are both each other's harshest critic and biggest champion, sometimes it works, and sometimes I get, it's not your best. She's so great. It's all love. It's all love. I want to sing one of the songs I'm really looking forward to putting out this fall. Being in Nashville, calling Nashville home now. Boy, oh boy. So in June of last year, I was supposed to teach at a little songwriting camp in New Hampshire on this tiny little island, 3 Mile Island. And I was trying, because it's very mysterious, the name. It's because it's that big around. That's why it's named that. Very mysterious. So the route that my GPS had me take from Nashville to get to this little island in New Hampshire, it was such a peculiar route, you know. But like the Reverend says, all things. As I was leaving Nashville, because it was June, there were all of these churches that had all of these really hateful things on their marquees. You see, because it's Pride Month, so naturally, right? The place that is supposed to be the epitome of love, the epitome of accepting, just being so very antithetical to that. So as I was leaving Nashville, that's what I saw. And when I got about 40 miles from where I was supposed to be, I came around the bend on this tiny little New Hampshire road in the middle of nowhere and saw this cinder block church just with pride flags flying all over the outside of it. They didn't want anybody to mistake them for tolerant, you know. They wanted folks to know they were wildly affirming, you know. I appreciated it. They understood the assignment really well. And so when I got where I was going, this little song was waiting for me. This is called Like Jesus Would.
All right.
In my hometown, there's a church on every block. Sanctified folks who'd much rather pray for you than talk. They cherry pick the good word and hold on to the bad parts so they can willfully ignore every lesson Jesus taught. But in a town I've never been to before, I saw a church that made me want to run right through its doors. I could tell just by the outside I'd be met with open arms. Folks spreading the good news with open minds and open hearts. Pride flags flying for all to see. Black lives matter on the church marquee. Bet they don't just pray when the sick take ill, or just send thoughts when another gun kills. I bet they vote like Jesus would, like the choice they make might do some good for somebody. That's my kind of Christianity. Somebody said if Jesus came back now, half the Christians in this country would try to crucify him somehow. They'd call him a liberal and hurl woke like a slur. They'd take one look at his brown skin and then probably call him worse. So this one's for those fishers of men, not the people putting evil and evangelical again. Love one another, his commandment from the start. So keep spreading the good news with open minds and open hearts. Pride flags flying for all to see. Black lives matter on the church marquee. Bet they don't just pray when the sick take ill, or just send thoughts when another gun kills. I bet they vote like Jesus would, like the choice they make might do some good for somebody. That's my kind of Christianity. Pride flags flying for all to see. Black lives matter on the church marquee. Bet they don't just pray when the sick take ill, or just send thoughts when another gun kills. I bet they vote like Jesus would, like the choice they make might do some good for somebody. Yeah, that's my kind of Christianity. That's my kind of Christianity. Yeah. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Yeah, really looking forward to releasing that one. It meant a lot to be able to record this album in Nashville, kind of in the belly of the beast, this very pro-gay, very pro-black, very feminist forward album. In the belly of the beast, you know, because I think a lot of folks kind of feel like they have priority over who gets to claim the South, but my roots go back in the South so far, they don't keep paper on them. So, you know, I think I have a little something to say about it. So, this next one that I want to sing for you, this is kind of what came about after that drag ban that I mentioned before it came out. You know, the language in that bill, it was so loosely worded, because, you know, it's never actually the legality of these things. It's only ever the cruelty. The cruelty is the point. The language in the bill was so loosely worded, so intentionally loosely worded, that an artist like myself, who does my job on a stage, for whom it matters a great deal to me that my shows are always all ages friendly, and who always brings my dapper best, because of that, I would have been, thank you so much, I appreciate that. I would have been breaking the law every single night I did my job in Tennessee. Every single night I did my job. And I had a lot of feelings about that because, you know, gender and gender expression are both so deeply, deeply personal. They are nobody's business, least of all our government's. And so for a group of folks who say they love freedom so much, this song is for us, but it's for them too. This is called Suit and Tie. They were a boy until they realized that wasn't them at all. Never felt like one or the other of those decals that assigned us to a bathroom stall. They turned 18, went to court, paid the fee, chose a new name to be called. They were a boy until they realized that wasn't them at all. I've been a girl from as far back as my memory recalls. Never looked much like the others. I was always too big, always too tall. Loved Carolina blue, loved my He-Man shoes and playing basketball. I've been a girl from as far back as my memory recalls. This world is a mess and it's getting worse as days go by. Uncivil unrest about who's a girl and who's a guy. But this heart beating in my chest knows the truth I can't deny. I might look good in a dress, but I feel better in a suit and tie. He's been a boy from as far back as his memory recalls. Never looked much like the others. He was always too soft, always too small. Loved to dance and sing and cut up fashion magazines for all his paper dolls. He's been a boy from as far back as his memory recalls. She's been a girl since before she knew the word trans at all. Never felt much like the others, trapped inside the casket confines of their gender's walls. Moved to Tennessee, now she's so scared she can barely breathe from all their hateful laws. She's been a girl since before she knew the word trans at all. This world is a mess and it's getting worse as days go by. Uncivil unrest about who's a girl and who's a guy. But this heart beating in my chest knows the truth I can't deny. I might look good in a dress, but I feel better in a suit and tie. Yeah, I look good in a dress, but I look better in a suit and tie. Thanks very much. Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm really excited about releasing that one. You know, that's the thing about Nashville. Nashville is so gay. I mean, Heather, we host a queer brunch at our house, like, bi-monthly. There's such a wonderful community there. And that's the thing that matters so much in some of those places that aren't here, that aren't like the West Coast. The voting turnout in Tennessee is like 30%. It's abysmal. And so often, the people in the South in general, they don't really match the politics, but they feel so disenfranchised, they just don't understand the power that they have, which of course is intentional. And so, yeah, we're working really hard to
get the voter turnout up. So if you see candidates come across your timelines, Gloria Johnson in particular is running in a really important race right now. She was one of the Tennessee Three. I'm sure you all heard about them over here. So yeah, keep your eyes on the South. I'm gonna sing a sweet song about the Reverend right now to get me out of that. You know, she's so sweet and just so adorable. It's been such a lovely part of growing up kind of with her, watching her in this new chapter. She is retired. She, in addition to being a minister, she's a retired civil servant. And so kind of watching her in this new chapter, she and her sister are both retired civil servants. And so they do this thing where they have this newfound love of puzzling. So they'll mail each other the same puzzle and then like troll each other about who did the puzzle better. You know, mom's like, I started from the outside. I've been done for 2 weeks. What were you doing? It's hilarious. And so she's sitting me down one day, kind of talking to me, like just nerding out, like talking to me about her strategy and her technique. And she was just like really getting into it. And I was just like, I think this would make a really great song. Hold on, let me just keep talking. Let me just get my recorder out. You know, it's because it's one of the really beautiful things about the Reverend. Is sometimes she is just accidentally profound. She's such a wonderful human. It is a privilege to be her child. And so this is the song that came out of that conversation with her. This is called The Bigger Picture.
When my mama retired, she didn't have much of a plan. She said, I'm gonna learn to take it easy. I'm gonna find joy where I can. There's so much in this life that I don't understand. Just give me peace and quiet and something to do with my hands. Well, she found that something in a little cardboard box, 1,000 pieces before her, each one a new lesson taught. First, don't be scared to start over as many times as it takes you. The challenge lies in the patience to see it through. Day by day, minute by minute, inside out or outside in, you won't understand the whys, but the whys have their reasons. You won't see the bigger picture until you sort out all the pieces. Sometimes knowing the outcome doesn't make getting there easy. So you just lay it all out on the table. You work it out eventually. With some sorting and sifting, the patterns appear. She said slowly but surely, the rest seems clear. Day by day, minute by minute, inside out or outside in, you won't understand the whys, but the whys have their reasons. You won't see the bigger picture until you sort out all the pieces. Now she's had plenty of bright spots and more than her share of the dark. Well, she's done a little falling in love. She's done some falling apart. But she says all things work together, the big and the small, for the good in your life. And baby girl, all means all. So when a piece won't fit, at least not like you thought it should, when your way gets hard, when you feel lost in the woods, know you're a work in progress with lessons to find. You're a 1,000-piece puzzle, and puzzles take time.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, everybody. Well, I'm going to sing one more. I'm very neurotic about time, being a preacher's kid. You know, the Reverend, being early is being on time. Being on time is being late. That plus marching band, so that's like deeply ingrained into my soul. I'll also talk more about that later as well. So because I'm very neurotic about time, I'm going to do one more and then we'll take our intermission. Y'all can get snacks, get drinks, what have you. I will be near here just because it takes a lot to put the click-clacks back on, so I'm not going to go hide. If you need something, if somebody has to jet out and you need to get a hold of merch, I mean, you're not waiting to the end, just holler at me. It's just a nice, intimate space, so just holler at me. It's okay. All right. Well, I want to end this first chapter with this song. Before Heather and I moved to Nashville, we lived in D.C. And it was a very educational time to be in the District of Columbia. Kind of there in the heart of so much civil unrest. It was both heartbreaking to kind of see the fallout from so many pieces of legislation, but it was also incredibly inspiring to literally see the people doing what the people are supposed to do when they are dissatisfied with what is happening in their country and what is happening at the hands of the folks who are supposed to represent them. So this particular song started out as just kind of a love letter to the women of Texas. But then the Supreme Court said, hold my pearls. And so this song has also managed to have a bit of a longer shelf life than was meant. There's a version of this song that is out on my YouTube in a lyric video form because, folk singers, it is not a lucrative profession. I told my mom I was going to be a band director at first, and she was like, okay, all right. She made her peace with the fact that I was going to be like paying my student loans for like the rest of my natural life. And then I was like, actually, I think I'm going to be a folk singer instead. You can imagine her enthusiasm. We don't ever quit. We just die out because like it's just for the love of this music. It's just for the love of this work, being able to help inspire people and give people hope. So it's not a lucrative profession in any kind of monetary way, which is fine. But what that means for us is that often we will write a song, but it will take us quite a bit of time to actually release that song because releasing music is actually quite an expensive process if you're trying to do it well and do it right. But I knew that I wanted this song to exist in the world in some form or fashion when I finished it. And so I asked my friend Natalia Zuckerman if she would help me figure out how to do that. And so she helped me record the guitar part and the vocal at her adorable little home studio in upstate New York. And then she heard the song and was like, I think we should ask like every woman changemaker we know. Just ask, like, will you sing this with us? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And we did. We asked. And so on the YouTube video, on the lyric video for the version of the song that is already in the world, you hear the voices of Holly Near, of June Millington, of Mary Gaucher, and Jamie Harris, and Lily Lewis, and Heather May, and Pamela Means, and just on and on and on and on and on and on. And all of these incredible women. And so the version of this song is called Sister's Keeper. Preacher's kid. Sometimes the songs come out sounding like one of Mom's sermons. That version is out, but it was important to me to be able to record this song in another version as well, to challenge the country music and Americana music establishment in Nashville. So there will be another version of the song that also comes out in October. This is Sister's Keeper.
Rage is like fire. It's warm until it's hot. It's quiet till it's not. And these days, they require all the can't stop and won't stop rage that you got. Every time we catch our breath, they try harder to choke out what we've got left. And it's a mad, mad world. If you're a woman or a girl, they don't see us, they don't hear us, till they fear us, till they fear us. And I know this world is hard on you. But come on, we've got a work to do. Pay her what she's worth. Say that you believe her, that it's her body, her choice, not yours. Be your sister's keeper. Rage is like fire. You can't tell how far it's spread to your end, over your head. These flames, they burn higher, like a phoenix wing spread, rising back from the dead. Every time we think we're safe, oh, they carve and they chip another one of our rights away. And it's a mad, mad world. If you're a woman or a girl, they don't see us, they don't hear us, till they fear us, and they better fear us. And I know this world is hard on you. But come on, we've got work to do. Pay her what she's worth. Say that you believe her, that it's her body, her choice, not yours. Be your sister's keeper. Lozen and Wilma and Sunjoy and Truth and the Baker, Rosa, Sonia and Ruth. We are warriors now, like we've always been. These extraordinary times, we were made for them. Liberty and justice aren't just birthrights for men. When our foremothers grit, bought and paid for them. And I know this world is hard on you. But come on, we've got work to do. Pay her what she's worth. Say that you believe her, that it's her body, her choice, not yours. Be your sister's keeper. Be your sister's keeper. Oh, oh, oh. Rage is like fire. It's warm until it's hot. It's quiet till it's not. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks so much. All right, I'll see you after you get your beverages and snacks. Ladies and gentlemen, the second half is about to commence. Or as Heather says it better than I did. She's a millennial, so you know, she's teaching me how to be, again, a bit less clumsy. Ladies and gentlefolk. Well, I think we'll start with a little bit more about voting. You just can't talk about it enough. It's so important. 'Tis the season. In Tennessee, 'tis always the season. I feel like I voted more in the 2 years I've lived in Nashville than I ever did. There's just so many elections. I think it's a trick to like get people to forget to do some of them, but anyway, this song I'm going to start with, this is one of my favorite songs off of Changemakers. This is about the late, great Congressman John Lewis. Yeah. You know, when he passed away and left that beautiful letter, it was just like, that was a legacy worth honoring for someone who has endured so much cruelty
at the hands of this nation, to then have so much love for it still, to leave that beautiful letter, just because of a deep belief in what it could be. This is called Call Them In, because that's the thing that he and his mentor, Dr. King, did so well. It was never just about the calling out. It was always that second step. It was always the calling in, the trying to broaden the table. And we just need so much of that. So this is for Congressman Lewis, and this is for all of us. This is called Call Them In. Now, this is the CD version of it on Changemakers. Is very epic. It's like a full-on gospel choir. Like Kashana is just like singing like she's one of the angels. This is like the NPR Tiny Desk version of Chris Matthews' Call Them In. The battle lines are drawn, and once again, somebody's saying, wait, be patient. If they knew how long it would be before all people could truly hear freedom ring, I wonder which end of that moral arc would they choose. I wonder if more would have walked in his shoes. This is what revolution looks like. You gotta get in, then stay in this fight. You've got to find a way to get in the way. Speak up, speak out every day. Freedom riders or letter writers, do what you can, just shine your light brighter. Somebody called him a saint among men, a founding father, an icon, a legend. Ordinary people with such extraordinary vision in a country so young, hard pressed on every single side but not crushed, saying in God, love and justice we trust. This is what revolution looks like. You gotta get in, then stay in this fight. You've got to find a way to get in the way. Speak up, speak out every day. Freedom riders or letter writers, do what you can, just shine your light brighter. Make a trouble every chance you get. Eyes on the prize, we're not finished yet. Don't tolerate injustice, my friends. Call them out, but then call them in. If you see something that's not right, not fair, stand up and say we can do better. He said, I may not be with you when we reach the other side, so that the power of love everlasting be your guide. 'Cause this is what revolution looks like. You gotta get in, then stay in this fight. This is what revolution looks like. Get in, then stay in this fight. You've got to find a way to get in the way. Speak up, speak out every day. Freedom riders or letter writers, do what you can, just shine your light brighter. Make a trouble every chance you get. Eyes on the prize, we're not finished yet. Don't tolerate injustice, my friends. Call them out, but then call them in, call them in. Find a way to get in the way. Speak up, speak out every day. Make a trouble every chance you get. Make a trouble every chance you get. Make a trouble every chance you get. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much. Well, I'm going to sing you another one of the new ones of the upcoming album. And this is a song that took quite a while to write. I think because of the types of songs I write, oftentimes, like with so many of us for songwriting, it's kind of just like free therapy, you know? We're just kind of like trying to process our feelings, trying to process our emotions. And doing that through the lens of social justice or of things that are, you know, affecting my ability to pursue life and liberty and happiness, it can be extra tricky sometimes to get to the nugget of what it is I'm actually feeling, the truth of what that thing is that's actually making me feel like I have something I need to say. And that was kind of what happened with this song. This song was started after the shooting in Buffalo, New York, which was kind of doubly shocking because in addition to being yet another mass shooting in America, it was also a hate crime, much like in Charleston. And so the shock of that, the twofold shock of that, the twofold heartbreak of that, made it very difficult to kind of sort through what I actually felt in that moment. And so I didn't finish that song when I meant to, when I intended to. And then some time after that, quite some time after that, there was another very similar incident in Jacksonville, Florida. And so the ancestors decided to pull me by the ear and give me a little kick in the pants and say, get to it. And I did. And so this song is called My Skin. Have you ever been afraid to walk home in your own neighborhood in the light of day? Have you ever been made to prove that you belong and then be wronged for what you say? Is my skin so egregious to them? Tell me when will it end? I don't want your thoughts and prayers, and I don't want your tears. I just want to be able to live my life without fear. Have you ever been doing your job and made somebody mad enough to form a violent mob? Have you ever been robbed of your peace when some coward calls you the worst word you've been called? Is my skin so egregious to them? Tell me when will it end? I don't want your thoughts and prayers, and I don't want your tears. I just want to be able to live my life without fear. Have you ever been so tired from mourning the dead so many times that you can't cry? Have you ever been so despised that a stranger would give up freedom if it meant ending your life? Is my skin that egregious to them? Tell me when will it end? I don't want your thoughts and prayers, and I don't want your tears. I just want to be able to live my life
fear, to live my life without fear, to live my life without fear.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, the album version of that song, I was listening to it on the drive here and just burst into a million tears. It's so beautiful. Kashana, how many of y'all know my friend Kashana? Yeah. Hey, all right. Great minds think alike. She is so incredible. She is who I always go to when I need to have my well filled back up. Her music is medicine always. She's such a wonderful, wonderful spirit. And I had the great privilege and pleasure of writing a song with her that's on her new album, which just came out. Her brand new album, Legacy, is out. You should definitely go listen to that. She and I wrote a song together on there. And it's so exciting and fun because, you know, you're just a writer, so like you don't really get any say over what happens next. And you also don't really know what's going to happen next. It's like a surprise. And so I went to, she had this really cool like listening party for the album to kind of like bring it, welcome it into the world. And I'm sitting there looking at the liner notes and it's like featuring Ruthie Foster and Chris Pierce and Odessa Settles. And I was like, oh my God. It was so exciting. I'm such a Ruthie Foster fan and Chris is amazing and Miss Odessa is incredible. So it was like a double treat to like know, first of all, that I got to actually write a song with this incredible human being, and then also that the form that this song has taken in the world has a bunch of my heroes on it. So it was just super cool. So anyway, I asked Kashana if she would sing on my album. She's also singing on Changemakers on a couple of songs, but I knew I wanted her to sing on My Skin, and her vocals on that song and the cello that Larissa Maestro, if any of you have been following Allison Russell, you probably have seen Larissa playing with her. And the combination of those two humans and what they invoked in that song, just wow. I hope it does as much healing for other people as it did for me. So, but this song that I'm going to sing for you now, this is another animal. This song is called Waking Up the Dead. And back in January, folk singers back in the couple of years back, like January and February were great. It was like basically like my months off. But then the word got out that I do a Black History Month program. And so I had 3 days off in the entire month of February, which was okay. It was worth it. Teaching people about my people and teaching folks about justice. It was okay. I could do it. But man, I kind of miss those days, like not having anything to do. But so between MLK Day in January and Black History Month, I find myself often quite busy. And so this past January, one of the shows that I had was at a little Quaker meeting house in Fallsington, Pennsylvania. And as I said, I am quite neurotic about time. If you tell me that load-in is at 5, chances are good I am in town at 2 o'clock. Which was the case today. I went and got a burrito and just took a nap in the car, but I was like, it's very hard for me to not show up very, very early. It's been instilled in me. And so at this Quaker Meeting House gig, in true form, I showed up very, very early. The Quakers, however, do not live their lives that way. They were not at all concerned with my timeline. They were like, it's cool, we'll get there. It's gonna be great. I was like, okay. And so I made myself go outside. I was like, you gotta just go occupy your time. Don't stress out the Quakers. They're doing a lot. They're out there doing a lot. Don't stress them out. So I was like, I'm gonna just go out back and just enjoy the beautiful, crisp Pennsylvania air for a bit. And I walked out back, and it was a cemetery back there. And it was absolutely surreal. Almost as soon as I stepped out there and started walking around, I could feel somebody being incredibly happy to see me there. Now, I'm a hippie, but I'm not that kind of hippie. And so it was really, really something. I mean, you could feel this. Like, as soon as I went back inside, I started writing this song. And I had a couple of days off in between tours. And so I swung down to Nashville because I had a feeling that this song was going to feel like a different animal on my banjo. And my friend Kathy has been like on me to play my banjo more. And I was like, this sounds like the perfect opportunity. And so sure enough, I picked up my banjo and just fell in love with the way this song felt on the banjo. And so I've been playing it on the banjo ever since. This is called Waking Up the Dead.
There's a name etched on a gravestone. It's as old as the shade tree high above those bones. 400 years in Pennsylvania, trembling at the word of God. Not the men who'd rather change them. Well, now time settles scores, but not the cold, cold ground. I can feel it shift beneath my feet as I'm walking around, and I'm minding my steps, my eyes are wide, wondering who they were when they were alive. Dirt on my soles from a graveyard troll, picking up pieces of the past. And the ghosts don't scare me in this cemetery, no, no. They're singing freedom, freedom at last. Yes, solid ground ain't what it should be. Not for all those granite slabs sinking underneath that tree. Not for a house built upon slavery. They kept telling us to wait, but never's all wait ever means. Well, now some chose the greed, they chose the greater good. And they're gathering around me as I stand right where they stood. And I'm minding my steps, my eyes are wide, and I know who they were when they were alive. Dirt on my soles from a graveyard troll, picking up pieces of the past. And the ghosts don't scare me in this cemetery, no, no. They're singing freedom, freedom at last. Abolitionists and Quakers peeking through the veil to see the fruits of their labor. 400 years in Pennsylvania, 6 feet underground, but still steady as an anchor. So now I sense a hand upon my shoulder. I'm waking up the dead, and the air is getting colder, and I'm minding my steps, so my eyes are wide, and I am who I am, 'cause they were alive. Dirt on my soles from a graveyard troll, picking up pieces of the past. And the ghosts don't scare me in this cemetery, no, no. They're singing freedom, freedom at last. Freedom, freedom at last. Freedom, freedom at last.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much. Yeah, it feels like that when I play it too. It's just like such a cool experience. And I had a really special thing like happen this year. This year was like, it's already, I mean, it's just now May, and it's been just such an epic year. Back in March, at the end of March, I got to play at Lincoln Center as part of their American Songbook, series. And it just so happened that the makeup show, I had to do a makeup show in Pennsylvania again, in that same county, but from a show that happened back in October, I think it was. I had lost my voice like very unexpectedly. I still don't know what happened, but I had to cancel this one show that just happened to be in Pennsylvania. And again, all things. And so when I was playing that makeup show there the night before I was going up to Lincoln Center, Heather and I woke up early that next morning and went to that same cemetery again. I did not have the same ghost was like, I guess, napping. They weren't out. But I got to show that cemetery to Heather, and so she got a bunch of cool footage of me walking around there and stuff. So there might actually be like kind of like a bootleg music video for Waking Up the Dead coming out in a couple months too. So. That's right, the Quakers. It's just like, I love the Quakers so much. In general. A lot of folks, it's so fascinating. This country is such a fascinating animal for so many reasons. So many people, especially young folks right now, have such a complicated relationship, especially those of us who are LGBTQ, or as Heather and I like to say, LGBTQ. Have such a complicated association with religion and with spaces of faith because of how we have been treated in those spaces so often. And the irony of that is that historically in this country, at least post the 1900s, the faith community, and even before that, have been such an integral part of moving this nation forward, especially with the Quakers, and especially with the Black church. And so the irony of these folks now, these folks who are donning the title of evangelical, and being the exact opposite of what that is supposed to be. I hope that more of us will take them to task about that. It's kind of like the same thing that is happening with the American flag. This interesting sect of our citizenry who is trying to make our flag mean something that it doesn't mean. Yeah, I guess I'm going to sing that song. I wrote this song after the last presidential election was officially called, which you will remember took some time. It's so hard not to be snarky. We have this thing in the South, we're very superstitious folks, but we also are really hilarious. We have this thing where we say, it's like, the devil almost got me. He almost got me to say that thing, but I fought it off. It's just like, that was close. That one was a close one. He almost got me. But I was living in D.C. at that time, and because of all the boxes that I check, I have been to the White House many a time, usually to protest something because I am Black, a lesbian, and a woman in America. And so there has been much to protest in this country as of late. But that particular day, the drive down there was just so different. There were all these American flags out in places where they hadn't been before, because folks were feeling like those colors, again, meant what they were supposed to mean. And if you aren't sure actually what those colors signify, listen to the bridge of this song. I think this song is on my heart, especially tonight, because of the young man in Florida who just lost his life, the airman. Roger Fortsman. I hope I'm not messing up his last name. The police down there went to the wrong house, and of course, because he is a soldier, and he was met with banging on his door in the middle of the night when there should not have been that. He answered his door with his legally owned firearm, and the police were at the wrong home, and so that American soldier lost his life. So I think a lot of folks forget that people who look like me have fought and died for that flag, and a lot of folks who love like me have fought and died for that flag. So the song is called Hope Revolution. It can be hard, it can be very hard in this country to maintain hope. It feels like there is a lot of reasons to feel hopeless. But that's the job of oppression, is to make us think that it is hopeless. But as long as we keep remembering that there is hope, as long as we keep hoping for better, we will continue fighting for better. And that's what matters.
I've seen so many flags flying high, Some were rainbow for pride, some were for saving black lives. Some were odes to the war long lost the last time hate tried to rise. But I haven't seen the red, white, and blue for a while. Yeah, I've seen so many flags flying high. Some were red, black, and green for celebrating Juneteenth. Some were signs of respect to the few proud and brave who keep us free. But I haven't seen the red, white, and blue lately. This country of mine hasn't felt much like itself. It's no wonder so many put Old Glory on the shelf until the promise of her colors was back within our reach. Then that star-spangled banner, she was lining every street. It was a hope revolution. We the people and the future of our choosing. It was a love revelation. Justice for all, indivisible, one nation. Those 4 years didn't feel like the last. The worst parts of our past, it's like they brought them all back. Baby's cage, Boris clothes, our democracy under attack. Never thought I'd see the red, white, and blue do that. Oh, this country of mine hasn't felt much like itself. It's no wonder so many put Old Glory on the shelf until the promise of her colors was back within our reach. Then that star-spangled banner, she was lining every street. It was a hope revolution. We the people and the future of our choosing. It was a love revelation. Justice for all, indivisible, one nation, one nation. Oh, those colors aren't just pretty, they're pretty much who we are. Perseverance and justice, vigilance and valor. That's why we were dancing, not marching, as those dark clouds scattered. There was glass everywhere from all the ceilings being shattered. It was the first time in a long time that it felt like it mattered what those colors stood for and who those colors were for. It was a hope revolution. We the people and the future of our choosing. It was a love revelation. Justice for all, justice for all, indivisible, one nation, one nation. And all the insurrections in the world won't change that. I've seen so many flags flying high. Hope the red, white, and blue stays a while. Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you so much. Well, I'm going to sing a song for you now that is a point of tremendous controversy in my household. I love this song. And up until we went into the studio, Heather did not love this song. So when we got into the studio, I looked at the band and I said, she hates this song. Make sure it's the absolute best one on the album, okay? And they did. It's so great. So I went up to her afterwards. I was like, so babe, what do you think? She was like, yeah, it's really great. Some folks are just speed bumps in your rear view. You gotta learn to keep it moving when you need to. They come from out of nowhere just to slow you down without a care. Sometimes in life you will find some roads you leave alone. There's a reason they're less traveled on. And some roads feel like home, every twist and turn you know. Like the back of your hand, even in the dark with your eyes closed. Yeah, some roads feel like home. Some folks are like white lines on a highway. They try to keep you on your path if you start to stray. When trouble seems to find you, they'll be the first ones to remind you to keep both your hands on the wheel. Some roads you leave alone, there's a reason they're less traveled on. And some roads feel like home, every twist and turn you know. Like the back of your hand, even in the dark with your eyes closed. Yeah, some roads feel like home. And it's 100,000 miles between now and that old life. Between what I had and what I needed but didn't know till I was leaving. Some roads you leave alone, there's a reason they're less traveled on. And some roads feel like home, every twist and turn you know. Like the back of your hand, even in the dark with your eyes closed. Yeah, some roads feel like home. Oh, some roads feel like home. Oh, some roads feel like home. Some folks are just speed bumps in your rear view. You gotta learn to keep it moving when you need to. And some folks are like white lines on a highway. They try to keep you on your path if you start to stray.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much, everybody. Yeah, we had this running joke because, you know, Heather and I, we have a lot of the same fans on the East Coast, especially because we, for a while there, played so often together. And so I was at this show in Boston, and I was telling them about her not liking this song. And I was like, at the end of it, if you like this song, you know, you should just slip into her DMs and just let her know how much you enjoy this song. So I get home that night, and she's like, babe, I got like all these messages about some roads. What was that about? I was like, I have no idea. All right, well, I'm going to do just one more for you all. Thank you so much to the Artichoke and to Gary, to Cole, to Shelly, to everybody so much for having me. This is my first time in this wonderful room, and I just love it so much. So thank you all also for supporting this space. You know, a lot of listening rooms, a lot of music venues did not make it when things opened back up after the darkest part of the pandemic. And so it means a lot to be able to support your local listening room. So keep that in mind. Keep on coming to shows. Yeah, they are such a gem and such a gift to the community. So do what you can to make sure they get to thrive, because I definitely want to come sing here again. So, yeah. Well, I'm going to leave you all with the song I have been waiting almost since Changemakers came out to release. You know, you go into the studio, you got your game plan, you got all your songs, you've had to like cull through the ones, you like, these are the ones. I feel great about it, I've made a plan, everything's going great. Even though, like, the last day you're in the studio, there's a literal insurrection happening 10 miles away from where you are, and there's a curfew, but everything's still going great. And then, like, 2 weeks after the album comes out, you write a really great song. Such a bummer. It is such a bummer. Again, folk singer, because you know it's going to be God knows when you get to put it out. So but it's coming out in October. So I'm so pumped. So this song is called Cancel Culture. And I wrote this song because so often when I am in spaces, I am the only or one of a very few people who look like me in that space. And because of the things I talk about and sing about, so often at the end of the night, at least before I started introing this song this way, folks would come up to me and just say, "You're just so brave talking about this stuff." I would be so scared of being canceled. I don't think I would do that. I think I would still just be quiet. And the idea of that, of staying quiet in the face of something that you yourself know is wrong, think is wrong, just for the fear of the discomfort. When those of us who are living that thing you're afraid to talk about are terrified, and are still putting our bodies and our sanity and our lives on the line incessantly for justice. Because there is so much in this American culture of ours that we could and should be canceling. And so, thus, the song was born and named. Now, at the end of this song, I took it easy on you tonight because this was our first time together. But I need you to know, at a normal Chris Matthews show, there is a whole bunch of singing. You got lucky tonight because I was like, I got to feel them out. West Coasters, and especially the Pacific Northwest, you can't just roll up in there any old kind of way. You got to see how y'all are, take the temperature, see how you're doing. We've done it, though. We have done it. We are a family now. And so this is the part where we're going to sing together. As Dr. King says, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. And these are the times for us to be shining those lights so very brightly in whatever way, in all of the ways you are able. So at the end of this song, I sing, "Drive out the darkness with the light." And Artichoke fam, I want you to very fervently answer me back. Drive out the darkness, drive out the darkness. Just like that. Are you ready? Yeah. Fantastic. The front row's got it covered. The rest of y'all, come on with it. Now, before I start, this is how I'm going to test the water to know for next time. This is a folk song, people. If you hear something in this song that were you alone in your car, you would be like, woo! You have my consent to do that now. Just a quick one. Don't don't do that. Just get in and get out. You have my consent. That's okay. This is good practice for the rallies that I hope we are going to. All right. There's a whole lot in our culture I'd cancel if I could. Instead of banning books, I'd ban gerrymandering for good. The rich would feed the poor like the good Lord said they should. And every child, without exception, would feel loved and understood. No more whitewashing our history when the truth will set us free. No more watching corporate profits soar while people sink into poverty. No more telling kids they're flawed because you think that your God would. There's a whole lot in our culture I'd cancel if I could. There's a whole lot in our culture we should cancel right away. Instead of banning saying gay, we should ban racist holidays. Teachers should get to teach without worrying about their pay, or if they'll have an active shooter that they'll have to keep at bay. No more kids in bulletproof backpacks. It's a school, not a war. No more pretending that machine guns are what the Second Amendment was for. No more doing nothing because it's easier most days. Yet there's a whole lot in our culture we should cancel right away. There's a whole lot in our culture we could cancel if we tried. Instead of banning abortions, we could trust women to decide. Every size and shape of body could be normalized, and every type of mental illness could finally be destigmatized. No more squeezing and contorting into boxes we don't fit. No more saying that we're fine when we're not, but
scared to admit it. No more telling little boys it's better not to cry. Yeah, there's a whole lot in our culture we could cancel if we try. We've been marching in these streets, singing we shall overcome, praying all the world would give up all their bombs and all their guns. I just want peace of every kind for the whole world tonight, and to believe that Martin was right. We can drive out the darkness with the light. Drive out the darkness, yeah. Drive out the darkness. We can drive out the darkness with the light. Drive out the darkness. Drive out the darkness. We can drive out the darkness with the light. Drive out the darkness. Drive out the darkness. We can drive out the darkness with the light.
Thank you so much, Portland. My name is Chris Matthews. Thank you so much for listening. Okay, now look. The thing you have to remember is you can't be getting me in trouble when it's my first time at a place. So I need Shelly to know this is your fault. Accepted. All right, good. This will be a quick one because it's a school night, and I want to make sure that the little one that is with us tonight gets to have a good day at school tomorrow. So y'all are going to sing with me one more time. Yeah? See, you're into it. This is so great. Now I know. Now I know for next time. To see if I've got enough voice to sing it there, or if I need to sing it up one. I'm going to sing it up one. I'm feeling brave. The day off tomorrow, so if the pipes go, I don't have to talk to anybody tomorrow. So this one is very easy. We're going to build it like a choir because I heard some harmonies, so that was nice. All right, somebody sing this. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Keep going. Whoa, whoa, whoa. 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 Okay, great. All right, some of you got the other parts. Yes. Somebody's got the harmony. All right, great. Great, Portland. All right. This song has been a fun one to kind of grow up with. Sometimes songs take on a different meaning as we live with them than they had when we wrote them. This song was like that for me. I wrote it for one thing, but as I became more deeply steeped in this justice work, I had the privilege of hearing the great Christina Henderson, a representative in DC, speak one night. And she said, this work is not a sprint. It's not a marathon. It's a relay race. So when you get tired, when you have done more than you really should have done and could have done, you need to give yourself the grace to pass that baton on to somebody else, long enough for you to rest, to fill your well back up so that you can continue to do this work. It was such a beautiful message to receive that night. And this song has kind of been a reiteration of that fact. Yeah, so I hope this one speaks to somebody tonight. Have you ever needed room to breathe? Just a respite from the noise, some steady ground to find your footing before the riptides of your life pull you underneath.
So busy trying to make your mark, you almost let your spark go dark. Second guessing keeps you grasping. It keeps you grasping at straws. But there's no drowning. There's no drowning when you let yourself pause. When you need to give a little more than what you got left to give. And when something is missing but you don't know what it is, let me hear you say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You can say, whoa, 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 yeah. Whoa, 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 yeah.
Yeah, you can clap and snap, that's okay.
Life is coming at you faster now. Before you know it, all your time, all your money, all your luck, and all your love, love, love seems to run out somehow. So busy staring at that clock, you don't see just what you got. The day grind, it keeps you spinning. It keeps you spinning your wheels. And there's no winning. There's no winning the race that isn't real. When you need to give a little more than what you got left to give. And when something is missing but you don't know what it is, let me hear you say, whoa, 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 yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You can say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And it's alright, it's okay to say you need a little space. When the hard times almost break you, you need to give yourself some grace. And when almost feels absolute, may these words be your breakthrough. It's not how much you make that makes you. Your joy is not theirs to steal. So when you need to give a little more than what you got left to give, and when something is missing but you don't know what it is, when you need a light in the day just to find your way home, you're trying to hold on to something but it's already gone, let me hear you say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You can say, whoa, 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 yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. When you need to give a little more than what you got left to give. And when something is missing but you don't know what it is, let me say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You can say, whoa.